No, I mean, I think, you'll never be perfect as an offensive line. There'll always be something. But just something that we need to work out and take it upon ourselves to get better. And I think we'll do that, with the bye week and just work on what we need to do to improve.
I know you didn't play in last year's game, but what are some of the things you remember from that game against LSU, just watching from the sideline?
Just the atmosphere was crazy in Death Valley. And, it was obviously a really exciting game, just back and forth. So, I mean, that's what we're expecting going to this game, and just, they'll make plays, and we just got to keep going and keep doing our job and execute. So
both fan bases are known for being crazy. What kind of stuff did you see leading up to that game or hear during the game?
I mean, nothing sticks out. Just how loud it was, and just going in, into the stadium on the buses, they were just yelling at us, and just typical stuff of, what everyone else hears too. So
pass blocking has kind of been obviously troublesome at times. The sacks last week, but other times a lot of pressure, a lot of tackles in the backfield this year. What do you attribute to that? Is it just lack of communication, or is there more to it?
Yeah, I just think it's more of the stuff that we do. We'll mess up, or like I said, communication or something like that. And we take fault for that. And we're just working on it to clean it up every day, and that's really all that we can do. So.
What corrections can be made, week to week to alleviate some of that?
Just taking the right steps, and just you kind of get mixed up in the game sometimes, and you'll mess up on one play and just kind of get ahead of yourself a little bit. So just kind of settling down, and what Coach Saban preaches, just play each play. And so I'd just say that. Yeah.
When you say communication problems, is it like communicating a change in a scheme?
Yeah, I'd say that. Just if they're moving or something like that, and get not all five of the offensive linemen gets the call corrected. So one guy's running this, another one's running the other one. So just little stuff like that that's easily can be fixed pretty quickly. So
you grew up in Iowa. Do you remember that 2011 Alabama LSU game that was called the game of the century?
Was that the national championship game, or the one that was 6-9?
The 9-6 game, yeah.
9-6. Yeah, I remember watching that, and just the battle of the defenses. So I remember watching Alabama LSU that year. Yeah.
Were you just on at home on TV?
Yeah, just with my buddies. Just it was the big time game on that night, so we were watching college football all day. But
is it something you ever thought that you would be part of?
No, not at that time. So it's pretty crazy, but I'm excited.
When you're watching that rivalry over, kind of like you said in the Midwest, and then what was your interpretation of that rivalry?
Just two big physical powerhouse, programs that just had a bunch of studs on their team pretty much, and yeah, it's awesome to watch. And some football up there isn't quite like that as it is down here, and it's just fun to see the atmospheres and stuff like that. So
how's the rivalry changed in your eyes since you've been a part of it?
I don't really know if it's changed much. It's still a big time game, and big programs, atmospheres, and everything like that. So I'd say it hasn't changed much. Just from my perspective, it's changed from watching on the TV to now playing in it. So
those atmospheres kind of a driving point for you to want to come here, maybe?
I mean, it's part of it, just being around a fan base that really cared about the football team and had a lot of excitement around the program. That was definitely a factor, and that played into it. But I don't say that'd be the main factor. So
after the Tennessee game, was there sort of a feeling of relief and thank God we've got a bye week coming, or?
I mean, it was a much needed break. 8 games straight without a bye. It kind of takes a toll on you mentally and physically. But we just really need to focus on what we need to do to get better this week, and so that's kind of our main focus, and just we're excited about getting better as a team. So.
Alabama's defense has had such a good pass rush this year. Maybe you don't go against the Tim Williams of the world, but as much during the season. But who's the toughest guy to block as far as pass rushing on this Alabama defense?
For myself,
yeah,
or for
on Alabama's defense?
Yeah, like you said, Tim Williams, really good pass rusher. Petway is good, I'd say. All the guys are really good. They just do things differently. And I go up against Sean Robinson every day in pass pro, so that's kind of tough. He's a big, strong guy, hard to stop. So for me personally, that's the hardest guy I go up against. But other guys will say different things. So.
You manage mental and physical strength being
it's tough. You can't. I mean, they prepare you well as far as just coaches preparing you in the film room and everything like that. And you know, you just got to take it day by day and just try to get better, and then, you know, it'll just kind of get used to it a little bit, and you know, as the season goes along, just continue to progress a little bit. So.
Couple more. Any special getaways this week, or going to watch any high school football? Or?
Yeah, I'm leaving for back home tomorrow. Tomorrow after practice, so I'm pretty excited about that. But we got practice today and tomorrow, so can't really think about that too much yet. So.
Do you think it's more beneficial to wait until next week to look at LSU film, or would you rather look at start now?
I'd say so. I'd say start looking at it next week. Just focus on ourselves and what we need to clean up and get better, like as a team. And then next week, you know, that'll come. But just get better right now as ourselves and take care of itself. So.
As a player that goes through the weekly grind of a new team to look at, is that kind of refreshing to kind of step back a little bit and focus on yourself instead of having LSU or anybody else?
Yeah, I mean, you know, week to week it's such a quick turnaround. You just go from one game to go right into the next game, and now it's like we can really break down what we've done and just kind of over the whole season, just what we need to improve on, and just kind of, you know, keys and reminders. So it's nice. Yeah.
All right. Thanks.
All right, go ahead.
What have you seen from Eddie, this week? He obviously had the knee injury in the middle of the game last week. How have you seen him kind of respond to that?
He's responding well. He's been in training room, getting treatment, trying to get better. This is a big week for us, for a lot of people who are hurt, banged up, to get rest and recovery. So he's doing well.
Gina, what do you think of when you think of LSU?
I think we're a tough team who likes to run the ball, has a good defense.
What are some of your memories or best memories of playing them during the course of the last few years?
My freshman year, we won the screenplay. Last year, we went overtime. Just basically, just every time we play, it was always a tough game. It comes down to the end, so that's just kind of my opinion of it.
I'm sure there are unique things about them, about facing Tennessee, about different rivals that you guys have.
Right.
What's unique about LSU?
What's unique about them is really that, I mean, they're similar to us. They're tough. They like to run the ball and have a really good defense. So I feel like it's just we're playing ourselves, basically.
What do you remember that 2011 game, the 9-6 game? It was here at Bryant Denny.
Oh, I was recruited at the time, but that was one of the best games I've ever seen. I mean, both teams were fighting it out to the end, and LSU ended up with the W. But I mean, it was a tough game.
So you were here for that?
No, I was a recruit.
You were here on a recruiting trip?
Yes, sir.
What was that whole night like when you came?
The atmosphere was insane. I mean, both teams played really hard. I definitely want Alabama to get the victory, but I mean, being here and seeing that definitely made me want to come join this team.
How much has it helped you guys on the back end? The pass rush this defense has been generating there. Admitted you don't have to hold your guys for 3 seconds because they're going to get to them. How much does it help this defense?
It helps a lot. I mean, with every defense, you want to have a great pass rush because that helps out with basically anything on the defense. So I mean, it's definitely been a help this year.
You guys have how many good pass rushers you think you got?
The whole defensive line is very talented. I mean, from the inside to the outside. So I mean, they're definitely a plus for our defense.
Tennessee was, or seemed like the first team to have real consistent success when you guys were running the ball. There have been a couple of runs, I guess, earlier in the year, but they were the first one to have that kind of consistent success during the course of the game. What led to that? What was the reason?
I mean, we didn't play our best game defensively, but I mean, in the end, we both sides of the ball, offense and defense, we fought it out and we were able to get the victory. But we know we didn't play our best, and we just know that it's going to take a better effort these next stretch of games for us to be victorious.
Do you think some of that was fatigue, or was that anything they did schematically?
I mean, no, not fatigue. I mean, we just didn't play our best. I mean, we just got to change that.
We haven't gotten into film with LSU yet, but is Fournette a guy that you're aware of just because of kind of his reputation through college football, or what you see just watching ESPN, things like that?
I mean, yeah, I mean, he's a pretty known guy. I mean, he's had a very successful season so far. We haven't started watching film like you said, but I mean, we know it's going to be a challenge.
What do you think about seeing him in the open field?
It is what it is. I mean, I'm a man, he's a man, so I got to do whatever it takes to get him down.
What do you remember about last year, kind of going up against a guy like that?
Not much, really. I mean, last year was different. I feel like, as far as him he's definitely a lot better player this year. He's a lot more confident. So it's going to be a better challenge this year for us.
Have you seen that confidence translate in kind of the way he runs and other parts of his game?
You can tell he just runs harder, he runs faster, he runs more confident, basically.
Have you seen some of the missed tackles that DBs have had against him?
I've seen them.
Are you hoping to avoid some of those?
Yeah,
clips?
definitely. I'm hoping to make tackles on him.
How much has Kirby meant to you throughout your career?
It's been a lot. He was one of the recruiters when I was coming out of high school, and he's always been a guy I can talk to about things. And last year when he was our coach, I definitely got a chance to become closer with him. But Coach Marsh has been a good guy for us, man.
What kind of impact do you think Mel has had on y'all as DBs, compared to Kirby last year?
A huge impact. I mean, just Coach Tucker just pushes us so much. Like he never lets off with us. I mean, from the film room to the practice field. I mean, when we're meeting, talking over plays, it's always constantly we got to get better. So, and it's definitely showing. It's definitely paying off for us. So, that's his impact.
What will you do this weekend?
This weekend, I want to go home, but I haven't decided if I'm going home yet because of things I have to do. But if I can't go home, I'll go home.
Saban's credited a lot of the turnovers and the improved play to having so many former cornerbacks in the secondary. How much do you think that has aided what y'all have been able to do this season?
I feel like every guy in our secondary is very athletic and we're interchangeable in what we can do. And the transition from corner to safety was also, it was a good thing for us. We just had to learn the playbook. But as far as like ball skills and just having a feel for a game, it was natural for us.
How have you seen that translate in a game situation? I mean, we've seen Eddie kind of make some rangy plays that maybe some others wouldn't have made in previous years. But how have you seen that translate the corner ability in an actual game-like situation?
Just from practice. I mean, just when you get more comfortable with what you're doing, you'll be able to do it in the game.
Focus on getting my skills back to where they were before the season when I was 100%. Focus on like the fundamentals pretty much.
How tough is it to focus on the fundamentals when you're going week to week a different type of game?
It's not too hard this week because we're not gonna start. I don't think we're gonna start our LSU game plan until next week. So we're just watching old film and stuff, what we used to look like during camp and stuff like that.
I'm saying during the actual weeks when you're actually having a game. How tough is it to focus on those fundamentals when you're always trying to have a game?
It's not too tough because between each play, you're trying to focus on the little small things like getting your hands inside, make sure your footwork isn't. You aren't crossing over and stuff like that while you're going through the game plans.
You watch, you see Leonard Fournette. Does he remind you at all of Derrick Henry in the way he runs?
I haven't watched too much film on him recently, so that's not a question I can answer right now.
How much film do you watch during bye week? I mean, is it the same as a normal game week, or do you
I'd probably say I watch a little bit more film during the bye week, but it's pretty much film on just our team and not opponents.
So y'all haven't actually cracked open LSU film yet?
Not yet.
So, did you remember when you were in high school for that 2011 Alabama-LSU game, the 9-6 game? Do you remember watching that?
Yes, came to that game, yeah.
Oh, you were? What was that atmosphere like for you?
That atmosphere is crazy. That's the one word you could use to explain that atmosphere. It was loud. LSU fans and Alabama fans were into the game. It was a pretty intense game.
Did that atmosphere sway your decision at all, or was it impact at all when you came to school here?
The atmosphere, I liked it because it was an exciting atmosphere, but I don't think it swayed my decision to come here.
What's more beneficial, the physical rest or the mental rest from the grind of the season?
Mentally, I don't think we ever rest until the season's over with, so I guess the physical rest is more beneficial to us right now.
How much do you just physically need some of that? Because Saban mentioned in Tennessee that the guys look tired, the guys look dragging a little bit. Do you just need that time to rest?
Yeah, I feel like throughout the whole team, there's people banged up across the front, and DBs, linebackers, running backs. And I think the whole team really needs to rest because, like, playing in the trenches, you making contact with somebody every single play, and just having a couple of days with your body to rest could do a lot for you.
I mean, the 8 straight weeks,
Yeah.
I mean, that does seem kind of like a long period of time between breaks. Is that one of the longest stretches you've had to deal with? Or?
Since I got to college, I think it's one of the longest stretches I had to deal with because we normally have a bye week earlier on in the season, but I don't think we had one this year.
How much of a strength has the pass rush been for you guys? It's something that you've always been good at stopping the run, interceptions and everything. Can you remember having this good a pass rush? How much of an impact has it had?
I think it's one of the better pass rush defense we've had. It has a huge impact because the more we can affect the quarterback, like the DBs right now are getting a lot of interceptions or tip balls and pass breakups, just because I feel like we could affect the quarterback a lot more effectively.
What's different though about the pass rush compared to
I feel like we keep outside leverage and we've been focused on collapsing the pocket a lot better. I feel like we collapse the pocket a whole lot easier than we used to.
How much have you guys started talking about LSU? Just looking ahead to the game and to go along with that, how much have you guys heard from people outside the program just about now?
People outside the program talk about the game every day, but when we come in the building, we just like I said, we just keep watching film on us, and we're not going to really focus on LSU yet.
Alvin, are you one of those guys that'll watch football this Saturday, or are you going to get completely away from it?
I might watch a little bit, but I'm going to try to get some mental rest and stay away from football a little bit.
How good are some of those guys like Tim Williams and Rashawn getting to the quarterback when they, they're not in there a ton, but they seem to make an impact when they are?
They're extraordinarily good at it. As you see, when they get on the field, they're always affecting the quarterback in some way. And I feel like this week they're just going to continue to get better at it.
You talked about collapsing the pocket. What do you guys do specifically to rush up the pocket?
We try to run games on the inside. We watch a lot of film on their guards and centers and see what the slide protections do and stuff like that. And we just try to find a weakness and try to use it to our advantage.
How special is it for you guys just playing LSU, knowing they're coming up next week, and just in the time that you've been here, how much do you feel like this game, this rivalry has developed?
Since I've been here, I feel like it's always one of the biggest games on the schedule. But it's just the next game right now, and when we start to open up on the LSU, I feel like we're gonna put our 110% into it, just watching film, practicing, and make sure we could execute the game plan where Coach give it to us.
In the past, has there been that kind of special feeling though, just in the preparation, the week building up to that game? Is there just something different in terms of the atmosphere, even in practice?
I'll say yes, because in the past it's always like a do or die game pretty much for us, and we've pretty much had to win this game.
How much do y'all have that mentality right now going into the back end of your season where another loss, you're probably out of the playoff race. So, what's the mindset going forward?
The mindset is we want to go out there and win every game, but when we start looking ahead at other games, we start to mess up in the week we're in. So we're just going to take every game 1 week at a time, and so we can focus as much as possible on that one specific game.
But is every week now, must win in your eyes, or?
At Alabama, I could say every week is a must win.
How much have you guys heard just about what they've done during the course of the year? Is that something people have told you about, or that you guys have paid attention to at all?
Throughout the whole season, I guess we picked up that they have a very good run offense.
I know you said that you haven't seen film on Fournette, but like you mentioned, do you see a guy that you see just turning on SportsCenter? Or
if you watch SportsCenter, yeah, you'll see him a lot. And I guess from SportsCenter, we saw that he's very explosive at any time during the game.
How much did you get him play him last year?
I think I got a pretty decent amount playing against him last year. Just the whole game pretty much felt like they were running ball every play.
You remember, he's a big guy.
Yeah.
You've gone up against, we've said, Derek and other big running backs in the past, but what kind of separates him, especially in a contact situation?
In a contact situation, I'll just say he's always a downhill runner. He's not trying to go around the tackle. He's always trying to go through you.
Was there anything different that Tennessee did last week in terms of trying to run the football from some of the other teams that you guys have faced this year?
I'll say yes, because most teams run pretty much like the basic counter and basic power, and they always try to hit the ball outside, well, inside. No, the other teams try to hit it outside, and Tennessee was trying to get the ball on the inside, and it was kind of like trick blocking schemes, kind of, you could say, but it wasn't too much different.
What were trick blocking schemes?
When they bring sometimes they'll bring the guard and the wing, or sometimes they just bring the wing, and they'll try to pull and kick out the 4-hour or the 2-hour instead of the 3 or the loose 5, stuff like that.
Was that something you'd seen on film from them?
Yes.
Was there anything playing Tennessee or Texas A&M, since both of them had a bye week, that they showed you that wasn't on film or surprised you?
I think they had a few gimmick plays we weren't prepared for, because every week is always going to be a couple plays you can't practice for, because you can't go over a whole team's playbook and stuff like that, because they don't show everything in every game.